Tozani, welcome back to my channel. It's Gogo Udirile again. I've decided I'm gonna do videos on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So I guess by the title of the video you already know what we're gonna be talking about. I have done a video on it's quite detailed. I think I will redo that video again just so that it's fresher, better camera quality and whatnot. But today I just want to talk about some of like how would you know really if you have a calling and what kind of a calling it is, and basically just sort of what to do when you do figure things out. I know a lot of people talk about having dreams and feeling tired. Sorry, I ate a sour worm. So yeah, I'm feeling it now. So those are and can be signs of being spiritually gifted, but also those signs or those kinds of things can also just be triggered by stress, anxiety, just going through a lot, and fatigue. So I just want us to break things down so that we understand that for you to be certain for sure that this is a gift or this could possibly be a gift and I'm not just going through the worst right now, you then need to establish certain patterns for you to then say, okay, cool, I might just be gifted. So I've written a couple of things on my phone. So today I will be looking at you and looking down on my phone a bit. I just don't want to leave any vital information out, so I had jotted down some very important points. So please don't be like, why is she doing this and that, but yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so one of the most common ways your ancestors can speak to you is, yes, dreams. So it's very common to have, so I'm going to speak specifically about my gift, but there's more signs within dreams. So depending on the kind of gift you have, if you have one like mine, which is Tunya as well as Umdao, then I think ours would be the same. But also bear in mind that different gifts have different signs as well. So I've written here the different examples, and I've said that with dreams, they shouldn't be random. So if you randomly dream of something, it could just be your thoughts manifesting in a dream at a certain point, or you going through the most and anxiety is kicking in and you're having dreams. So these dreams need to sort of be repetitive or have a pattern within themselves, or sort of one follows through and leads to the other. And when I say leads to the other, it doesn't always mean that what you dream of on Monday and then you dream of on Tuesday is an add up or a follow-up of what you dreamt on Monday. You could dream of something on Monday and then dream of something on Saturday, and you could see that, oh, okay, cool, what I dreamt of on Monday and what I dreamt of on Saturday actually goes together. So you need to bear those kinds of things in mind. But now I'm just going to give you some common ones for a person who has moya, or moya wabo profita, istunya samanzi, istunya somoya, that kind of thing, and a bit of mdao as well. So I've written here water dreams. So with water dreams, you also then need to understand like what kind of water. So a waterfall, clean water, large bodies of water, so the ocean, like a big river, would more so speak of spiritual, like a spiritual gift or something spiritual. Water that is sort of like in a basin or in a bathtub speaks of pregnancy. So that's not telling you that you have a gift. So that's what I'm saying. You also then need to, now that you've been told water, you also then need to understand what about water. And then also dirty water. Like if it's a large body of water and it's dirty water, something's off with your gift, kind of thing. So water is a big one and a very common one. Walking on water, swimming, being underwater. Those are, I could say, those are pretty good examples of signs that you may have a spiritual gift. And then I've written snakes. So particularly with snakes, if it's a black snake, it's a sign that's showing you that there is a problem. So it's not necessarily saying you have a spiritual gift, but it's saying that spiritually something is off. There is moleko or an attack of some sort. So a black snake means something else. Now, if you have a dream of, I've heard people having rainbow snakes, yellow snakes, brown and orange snakes, green snakes, different colored kind of white snakes even. Those kinds of snakes then sort of allude to having a gift, a spiritual gift that has to do with water. Snakes are they represent the water gift. So then you then need to figure out the color and what the color means. And this you would do when you consult and somebody translates your dream. So you won't instantly be able to figure out, because I dreamt of an orange and green one, what does that mean, kind of thing. Then traditional cloths. Some people dream of traditional cloths. Some people don't dream of traditional cloths. Sorry, I forgot to put my phone on silent. So traditional cloths, yes, for some people. But if you don't have dreams of traditional cloths, that's also fine. I never really used to have dreams of traditional cloths before I went Kilotwaza. So you can have spiritual dreams of cloths, you might not. That doesn't exclude you from being gifted. The same applies with beads as well. Being with elders is also a tricky one. It depends what the conversation is. If you're with an elder you don't know, you're being shown around, you're being taught lessons, that would sort of allude to more so a gift. But being with an elder that's sort of giving you like a warning every so now and then, you'd need other dreams to sort of support the fact that you have a gift. So also be careful of that. Then I wrote being taught something. So that also then would go hand in hand with like maybe an elderly person or somebody teaching you something spiritual, or school, or being back in high school, or being back in primary school, or in university, repeating matric, that kind of a thing. Then also those would allude to having a spiritual gift. So that's the first part, the dreams. Also, these dreams need to sort of stay with you. So having a random dream and it just like fade away and disappear and nothing in your mind sort of lingers back to that dream, then should also be a sign that maybe you were anxious, or maybe you went to bed watching like Gogo Udirile talking about this, and then you suddenly had it in your dream. So it needs to sort of be repetitive and something that sort of like stays in your thoughts and top of mind and just lingers, and you're like, I once had a dream like this. What does it mean? I feel like there's a message to this. I feel like this is important. I feel like this is something that I need to remember. So that's also part of the dreams side. Then there's also fatigue, feeling tired, feeling tired with no explanation, like an inside tired, not even I was working therefore I'm tired. So that kind of deep fatigue that you just don't understand where it's coming from. And also being tired after waking up, like you just went to bed and you wake up in the morning and you are perishing, like you just can't do it. Those are also signs. It could be signs of being gifted. It could also be signs of being tired or being stressed. Cold feet, hot feet are also physical ones that like come up a lot, that are also signs. And then what else did I write here? With being tired, I also feel like that tired, yeah. Joe, my energy is just like I'm depleted. Like I don't know what to do anymore. Something is off and I don't know what to do anymore. So now you're feeling like something is off. I don't know what to do anymore. And you're having dreams. Now you see like sort of the patterns are working together to sort of build this puzzle of yours. So you need a couple of puzzle pieces to build this you are spiritually gifted puzzle. And then what have I written here? Okay, we also need to understand, it's very important, you need to also remember that anxiety can really play with your dreams and how your body feels and all of that. So anxiety can make you think you have a calling, can have you dreaming of certain things, and so does depression. Like just feeling like everything has just gone to, you know that word, and you just can't carry on anymore. You're suicidal. Sometimes it's just that generally you are feeling like that, but generally also there are spiritual gifts that or some ancestors that have you feeling like that, that you know what, I'm just tired, I don't know what to do with myself. But then also there needs to be other things. That's how you'll be able to quickly define that, okay, am I like going through something at work, or is there more to this? And by then your dreams should also then be talking, and you be able to fill in dots. I'm dreaming of stuff, things are happening, I'm dreaming of this person, and this person is funny. So the patterns need to sort of work together in order for this puzzle piece to sort of fit in together. So I've written that as well. And also, if you feel like it's depression, or you feel like it's anxiety, or you're just not coping, there's been a lot happening this year, it's okay to also then first seek medical help and get help for that. And then if those things still continue, then you sort of know that you've cancelled out, or it's not anxiety, it's not depression, it's now this. You can then say for sure that, okay, this is what's happening to me. If really you are a person that's suffered with anxiety or any kind of mental disorders as well. So you'd also then need to be very careful before you diagnose yourself, or to say that you are a gifted person, when actually you may not necessarily be a gifted person in that way. Because I've spoken about that as well. And also there's just this general sense of, you feel like the universe is like pushing back. You're pushing and trying to do things. You're putting in 10, I was about to say 10%. You're putting in 100% energy into doing things, into like pushing yourself, being motivated and things like that. And it just feels like the universe is also pushing back and saying no. So there's like this sort of resistance where you're like, man, I'm working 10 times harder than the average person just so that I can get by. Something is off. At that point in time, then you need to think, okay, I haven't been having spiritual dreams, or I haven't been having these kinds of dreams like Gogo mentioned, but now I am feeling like there's resistance. Could this be a blockage where it's a spiritual attack, or I'm not spiritually aligned? Or could this be me not being aligned because I have a gift, and now my ancestors are trying to show me that no, you're not fitting the puzzle pieces together. So you also then need to always go back and see the other sides. So that's why, like I said in my previous video, it's good to have a notebook and to take note of things, so you always have a place to refer to when you then go and finally seek help and consult and say, I just want to know what is going on. So you want to take notes of those kinds of things as well. Some of the other ones, your appetite changes. I went from being a person that was like, okay, listen, it's time to eat, I'm hungry, to not being hungry, forgetting to eat, not liking certain things anymore, enjoying like things I never used to enjoy anymore, and also wanting like food that isn't like junk food. Like I was not reacting well to junk food anymore, and I love me some takeaways, but now like I was obsessed with ding. If you don't know ding, I think it's sorghum in English, yes, but the fermented one. I was not eating that. Like I was more so like a cabbage girl. Every now and then I'd have meat. So your diet and your appetite, I'd say, changes a little bit. So also your mood changes. You can go from being like a very social person to a very, I want to be by myself, I want to cry, I feel like everyone is against me, what's going on, I just want to curl up in a ball. So those kinds of things, they also show up when you have anxiety or any sort of mental disorders or mental challenges or depression. So then you need to again go back and see the other things that you have and try and piece these things together before you then say, because I dreamt of water that one time, therefore I must go and trust that. You want to be sure of what is going on in your life and with all these signs that you are seeing. So I think those are the most common, I'd say those are the most common ones. The dreams, the feeling tired, your body feeling weird, the mood swings, and also it was the mood swings on what? I just mentioned it, but there was a fourth one I mentioned while I was talking about the appetite, sorry, and your appetites as well. And then also a weird one I used to have, and some people have it, some people don't. I remember at that time I used to think, oh my god, I'm the smartest person on earth. How do I know this? Like, I have no history of knowing this. I've never read about this. I've never been interested in this. And a person come and ask me a question and I give them an answer. And the person's like, actually, he's thinking, you're right. That's actually what's happening. And I used to be like, of course I am. But it was never my knowledge in the first place. So you start to have sort of knowledge that you don't know, wait, where is this knowledge coming from? How do I know this? And how am I correct about something I had no idea about beforehand? So I used to get a lot of that. And I used to be forgetful. Like, I would forget. Would I call it forgetting or would I call it blacking out? Because I could have a conversation with you and we'd be fine, we'd be chatting, and then you leave, and then maybe we speak like tomorrow or 2 days later, and you'd be like, oh, remember, when I was at your place and we were chatting about this, and I'd be like, when were you at my place? And you're like, man, I was there on Monday. Monday. And nothing. So there would be missing periods or times of the day where I would just not remember anything. And then after that, I'd remember. Like, there's certain parts of the day that I couldn't recall. And I was like, hey, man, am I going crazy? Like I had mentioned in the previous video, what's going on? But also forgetfulness was a thing for me. I don't know if you also have an issue with forgetfulness and you have a gift, then please comment down below so we know that it's not just a me thing. It's a common one as well. Yeah, forgetfulness. So something is in my eye. Okay, so once you've figured out, sorry, there was something in my eye. Once you have seen these patterns and they keep coming up and you keep seeing them, by now, I think, like, if you've watched my first video, if you haven't, I think I'll link it somewhere here, or please go have a look at it. You then now need to start being more intentional about your prayer. You need to start praying about, listen, I've been having these kinds of dreams. I've been having these kinds of signs. What is going on? What do I need to do? So you also then need to up your spirituality so that you can then see, is it a spirituality thing, or are you just going through some challenges and going through life and just are not coping? That's the first thing you want to do. You want to then be a person that writes things down. Any little sign you get, any dream you remember, any sort of thing that feels like a thought that doesn't belong to you, you want to jot down. So you want to have like I'm trying to think, I was about to say a book of records. Yeah, it could be that as well. You have sort of a record of what's been going on, and obviously you're adding to this list as things happen. So it's starting to then show you patterns. If you've written it down, that's why it's so important to write it down. If you've written it down, you can then start to see everything all in front of you versus keeping it all in your mind, because then you can't just then take it out of your mind and put it in front of you. But if you have some sort of a book you have like a mind map or a map of what's happening, and now you need to start piecing things together. And that's how it will be easier for you to say, actually, I do have a gift, or I think I have a gift. Maybe it's time for me to then figure out what's going on. Once you then start to figure this out, the mistake that people do is then they rush to then go and consult. And then when they go and consult, they go and consult and say, hi Gogo, I want to know if I have a gift. This is how people find themselves in situations that they were never supposed to be in. You walk into a person's place, you don't know if they've had clients, if they last had clients 3 months ago, or if they had like a client yesterday, or if they have regular clients, or if they're affording their bills. And also life in general is, everything is expensive. You don't know, and you walk in and you're admitting to a person that, I don't know what's going on with me, guide me, tell me, I will believe you. You don't want to do that without having this book of notes that can also then confirm if a person does say to you, you have a gift. A lot of the time people do just say, yeah, you're gifted, you need to uyo twasa and whatnot, I can help you. That's not the time for all of that. Go in, have a consultation, just let it flow. If things come up, you then say, great, thank you. You go back home, you have your book of notes, you then have a section where you're recalling everything that was being said. Then you can then start to see, now everything is in front of you. I'm a big believer in having things in front of you, and you can work from that. Like a puzzle, your pieces are all there. You can see this one goes with this one. Then you start to then check. And then you then continue being intentional about your spirituality. You're praying more. You are doing your own research. You're seeing other people who have a gift that is similar to yours. You're figuring out the different gifts. You're starting to familiarize yourself with your gift. That is, if you have a gift. Because the best people to tell you about the gift you have would be your ancestors first. Everyone else will come secondary and add to that and assist where there is confusion. But you want to hear this primarily from your ancestors. They would have given you signs. These are the signs you would have written in your book. You now have went for a consultation, Lekoko Dirile, and you have those notes now. You've made notes. And then you can figure out and say, okay, cool, I do have a gift. Now you want to get to know yourself, and how you guys operate. Before you go sign yourself up to go end TWASA, you cannot start grade 1 clueless. I don't think there's a grade 1 that goes there not knowing their name. Which spiritual name, it could be different, but generally, like, you're not going to send your child to school not knowing their name, not knowing how to count to 10, not knowing how to at least write their name, or not knowing how to speak. I need to go to the toilet or whatever. Nobody's sending their child somewhere completely clueless. That's another thing you need to consider before you go and toss up. But obviously, I'll do that in another video. So then you want to learn certain things on your own. How do I like to pasha? How do I like to pray? What is my prayer style? What makes me happy? What lifts up my spirits? And all of those kinds of things, before you can then go hand over the reins, or then give yourself off to somebody to train you when you don't even know who you are. That's one of the things that's very important that I think people do not consider or take seriously, and then find themselves being vulnerable to predators, to people who want you to pay for TWASA when you were never even supposed to TWASA, or they want you to pay for you to TWASA and you're TWASing the wrong thing. Do not fall prey into these kinds of things. If you walk into a situation admitting that I want you to tell me that I'm gifted, it's almost saying, I'm giving you all my power. Never go into any situation. I don't think a person would go into any situation like that. Like if you're in Joburg, you're not going to have a big sign on your forehead saying, nah, I don't know anything about Joburg. It's my first time here. Of course, you're going to get robbed if you do that. Why don't you move like that when now you're trying to figure things out? Having a gift is a big thing, and it comes with big changes in your life. Don't just easily give that power over to somebody else. Please. But like I said, everything is it needs to sort of fit in. The puzzle needs to make sense once you've put it together. If you feel like this resonates and it hits home, please just, you know, take your time. Your ancestors don't rush you. They never rush you. They prepare you before you need to do certain things. So don't feel under pressure to start certain things when you know you're not prepared for them. You don't have a good foundation. You don't know, you haven't seen your puzzle, you haven't put your puzzle pieces together to make a puzzle. And sometimes we do need guidance. Sometimes you do need a consultation. If you feel you want guidance, all my details are linked in the description box. And on Wednesdays I do questions and answers. You can just go onto my Instagram. I normally have this on my status, the questions and answers. You can ask your question if you feel you're not ready to consult as yet, because also I have noticed sometimes consulting can be so scary and so daunting when you're terrified that I might just go there and I might just be told, no, you're depressed, ma'am, or be told that yes, you have a gift, and then once I know that I have a gift, what now? Things need to change. So it can be a little bit scary, but eventually something that you need to do. But if you feel you want to ease yourself into it by asking a question on questions and answers on a Wednesday, I usually post it on Wednesday in the morning, then you can do that and you can ask and get your answer and pray about it and then move from there. This is a video I wish I had seen back then, but for me, I think I was fortunate enough to meet to be open to my dreams, and my dreams were pretty straightforward, but that's not the case for everyone. So I was able to find my Gobela fairly quickly, and I went to her and she helped me. I haven't been to a second Gobela. I don't see myself going to a second Gobela. I feel like my Gobela is the best person out there. I absolutely love her. But yes, that's a story for another day. But yeah, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below, and also the notification bell, so that every time I post a new video you get notified and you get to watch it as soon as possible. I don't know if there will be ads. If there are ads, please watch the ads. And what else? Thank you so much for watching. If this video resonates or hits home for you, or you feel like somebody else needs to hear this message, your friend, your mom, your sister, your daughter, also the guys, your brother, your dad, your uncle, or whoever it is you feel may need to see this video, please do share it with them. You never know what this video can do for them. It can help them, steer them in the right direction. It can help them, give them a different perspective on what's going on in their lives, and just to calm them down. Sometimes you just need to watch a video and you're just like, okay, maybe I can slow down. And I hope this video helps at least one person do that. So thank you very much for watching all the way to the end. I will see you on Thursday for my next video.